There was once a king who loved elephants. He had a large herd of them in his palace, and he took good care of them. He especially admired one elephant who had a magnificent pair of tusks. The king often rode on this elephant's back and felt proud of his possession. One day, the king decided to go hunting with his elephant. As they were riding, they came across a group of bandits who attacked them with arrows and spears. The elephant fought bravely and defended the king from the attackers. He used his tusks to fend off the weapons and to strike down the enemies. However, in the fight, one of his tusks got broken by a spear. The king was shocked and saddened by this. He felt that his elephant had lost his beauty and value, and that he had lost his pride and joy. The king returned to his palace and ordered his servants to remove the broken tusk from the elephant. He then kept the tusk in his treasury and locked it away. He never rode on the elephant again and ignored him completely. He felt that the elephant was no longer worthy of his attention and affection. The elephant, meanwhile, felt very hurt and lonely. He missed the king's company and wondered why he had abandoned him. He did not understand what he had done wrong and why he was being punished. He thought that maybe he was not good enough and that he had failed the king. He blamed himself for his broken tusk and wished that he could have it back. He felt that he had lost his identity and purpose and that he had nothing to live for. The elephant became depressed and isolated. He stopped eating and drinking and spent his days in sorrow and despair. He did not care about anything else and just waited for his death. One day, a monk came to visit the palace. He was a wise and compassionate man who had attained enlightenment. He had realized the emptiness of all things and the true nature of reality. He had freed himself from all attachments, delusions, and sufferings, and had attained peace and happiness. He had come to share his wisdom and teachings with the king and his people. The monk saw the elephant and felt sorry for him. He sensed his pain and sadness and decided to help him. He approached the elephant and spoke to him gently. "Hello, my friend. Why are you so sad? What is troubling you?" The elephant looked at the monk and said, "Who are you? And why do you care about me? No one else does. I am a broken and worthless creature who has nothing to offer. I have lost my tusk, and with it, my beauty and value. The king has rejected me, and I have no one to love me. I have no reason to live, and I just want to die." The monk smiled and said, "My friend, you are not broken or worthless. You are a precious and wonderful being who has much to offer. You have not lost your tusk or your beauty and value. You have only lost your attachment to them. The king has not rejected you, and you have many to love you. You have many reasons to live, and you have a great potential to grow." The elephant was confused and said, "What do you mean? How can you say that? Don't you see my broken tusk? Don't you see how ugly and useless I am? Don't you see how the king has abandoned me? Don't you see how I have nothing to live for?" The monk said, "My friend, I see your broken tusk, but I also see your whole elephant. Your tusk is not who you are, it is just a part of you. It does not define your beauty or value, it is just a form. It does not affect your essence or nature, it is just a condition. It does not determine your happiness or suffering, it is just a perception. You are not your tusk, you are much more than that. You are an elephant, a living being, a manifestation of life. You have a body, a mind, a heart, and a soul. You have feelings, thoughts, emotions, and aspirations. You have skills, talents, abilities, and potential. You have a past, a present, and a future. You have a purpose, a mission, and a destiny. You are a unique and irreplaceable expression of the universe. You are a miracle and a wonder. You are beautiful and valuable, just as you are." The elephant was amazed and said, "Really? Is that true? How do you know that? How can you see that?" The monk said, "My friend, I know that because I have seen it. I have seen it in myself and all things. I have seen the emptiness of all things and the true nature of reality. I have seen that all things are impermanent, interdependent, and empty of inherent existence. I have seen that all things are not what they appear to be, but what they are made to be. I have seen that all things are not fixed or solid, but fluid and dynamic. I have seen that all things are not separate or independent, but connected and interrelated. I have seen that all things are not self or other, but the same. I have seen that all things are not good or bad, but neutral and relative. I have seen that all things are not sources or causes, but conditions and effects. I have seen that all things are not objects or subjects, but phenomena and experiences. I have seen that all things are not problems or solutions, but challenges and opportunities. I have seen that all things are not obstacles or goals, but paths and destinations. I have seen that all things are not suffering or happiness, but states of mind and choices of attitude. I have seen that all things are not what we think they are, but what we make them to be. I have seen that all things are empty and yet full of potential. I have seen that all things are nothing and yet everything. I have seen that all things are no thing and yet something. I have seen that all things are the same and yet different. I have seen that all things are one and yet many. I have seen that all things are none and yet all. I have seen that all things are. The elephant was stunned and said, "Wow, that is incredible. That is amazing. That is beyond words. How did you see that? How did you realize that?" The monk said, "My friend, I saw that by looking within. I realized that by meditating on my own mind. I discovered that by observing my own thoughts. I understood that by analyzing my own perceptions. I experienced that by cultivating my own awareness. I achieved that by practicing my own wisdom. I did that by following the teachings of the Buddha, the Enlightened One. And you can do it too. You have the same potential, the same nature, and the same mind as him. You have the Buddha nature within you, and you can awaken it by following his teachings. You can see the emptiness of all things and the true nature of reality. You can free yourself from all attachments, delusions, and sufferings. You can attain peace and happiness. You can be enlightened." The elephant was moved and said, "That is amazing. That is wonderful. That is inspiring. How can I do that? How can I follow his teachings? How can I awaken my Buddha nature?" The monk said, "My friend, you can do that by starting with the most basic and essential teaching of the Buddha, the Four Noble Truths. The Four Noble Truths are the foundation of all his teachings and the core of his wisdom. They are the truths that he discovered under the Bodhi tree and the truths that he taught to the world. They are the truths that can lead you to enlightenment and the truths that can set you free. They are the truths that you need to know, to understand, to realize, and to practice. They are the truths that can transform your life and your mind. They are the truths that can heal your broken tusk and your broken heart. They are the Four Noble Truths." The elephant was curious and said, "What are the Four Noble Truths? What do they teach?" The monk said, "The Four Noble Truths are the truth of suffering. This truth teaches that all conditioned phenomena are subject to suffering. Suffering is not only physical pain, but also mental and emotional distress. Suffering is the nature of samsara, the cycle of birth and death, in which we are trapped by our ignorance and karma. Suffering is the problem that we need to solve and the reason why we need to seek liberation. The truth of the origin of suffering. This truth teaches that the root cause of suffering is ignorance. Ignorance is the failure to see things as they are, and the tendency to see things as they are not. Ignorance is the source of all our attachments, aversions, and confusion. Ignorance is the origin of suffering and the enemy that we need to overcome. The truth of the cessation of suffering. This truth teaches that there is a way to end suffering. The way to end suffering is to eliminate ignorance. The way to eliminate ignorance is to attain wisdom. Wisdom is the ability to see things as they are and the freedom to see things as they are not. Wisdom is the antidote to all our attachments, aversions, and confusions. Wisdom is the cessation of suffering and the goal that we need to achieve. The truth of the path to the cessation of suffering. This truth teaches that there is a method to attain wisdom. The method to attain wisdom is to follow the path. The path is the Eightfold path, which consists of the right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. The path is the means to cultivate our morality, our concentration, and our wisdom. The path is the path to the cessation of suffering and the solution that we need to apply. These are the Four Noble Truths, my friend. They are the essence of the Buddha's teachings and the key to enlightenment. They are the truths that can change your life and your mind. They are the truths that can heal your broken tusk and your broken heart. The elephant was impressed and said, "That is amazing, that is wonderful, that is profound. Now I can heal my broken tusk, my broken heart, and my broken mind. Thank you, Master." This is the end of the story, my friends. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something from it. I hope you found it meaningful and inspiring. I hope you will apply it to your own lives and your minds. I hope you will heal your broken tusks and your broken hearts. I hope you will be happy and peaceful. I hope you will be free and enlightened. Thank you for watching, and may you be well and happy.